I'm Marissa.
And this is Totally Candid.
My microphone fell.
I kind of love that after every time we say Totally Candid, we vocal stim, or I do at least.
I just do like a
And I'm always like,
some type of dance or something.
Yes. We're full.
Yeah, we have full bellies. We had delicious sweet green. It was so good.
I always forget to do this.
I know, I do too.
But that's okay. It was really good. I had the miso salmon bowl. I think it's called fish taco bowl, but it had salmon and I'm just filling the air. It had salmon and I swapped out the hot sauce for the green goddess dressing. It had quinoa, it had arugula. It was chef's kiss. It had avocado too. It was really good.
Yum. I had the Korean barbecue bowl.
Yeah.
Oh,
she was like moaning throughout all.
It was so good. Okay, for context, I also have been saying that a lot. That's my new phrase.
For context?
Yes.
It's good. You're giving backstory.
Yeah, like I'm like,
you're prefacing.
For context. I just like, anyways. So for context, I love the guacamole greens salad.
That's like the only thing she orders.
Yeah, that's exclusively the only salad I order at Sweet Green. And sometimes at my full-time job, they'll cater lunch for like with Sweet Green. And it's,
yum.
Yeah, there's a Sweet Green that's like right down the street from my office.
Really nice.
But whenever they do it, they're always like, what does everyone want? And like my coworkers will get like different bowls every time or different salads every time. And they're like, ooh, I'm going to try this, and this time. And I'm like, give me guacamole greens.
They're like, Marissa's going to get guacamole greens. We know that. We don't have to ask her.
It's just so good. The chicken's so good. The lime is so good. The dressing is delicious.
That used to be the one that I went for.
Oh, it's just so good.
And then I started going for the barbecue chicken one. It also has the green goddess dressing. That's why I get it. And there's apples in it. It's so good.
You got to try. Oh, you don't like red meat, so you can't.
Nope.
Ah, fuck.
All set.
But it's so good. Ah.
Yeah, no.
All the kimchi on there.
Blech.
And the kimchi sauce.
I feel like if I subbed it for like chicken, I would try it.
Yeah.
But like
you wouldn't get the same flavor. It's like like not bulgogi beef, but it's like a similar.
Yeah. I know it wouldn't hit the same.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But red meat gives me the ick, so.
Yeah. It's okay.
Anyways.
It's okay.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome.
I changed pants from the last one.
Well, actually, we're filming them out of
order.
order.
I will have different pants on.
And it will be lighter in the next episode. Yeah. But that's okay. Because that's what happens when we bulk record.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm also realizing that you gave your big news in the next one.
That's okay.
You'll have to wait until next week to hear Jesse's big news.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be very much past, when we post it, it'll be past the time that I moved anyway. So
that's true.
It really doesn't matter that much.
That's true.
But
she's moving away from me.
She's dramatic. It's not that much farther.
You're 20 minutes more away.
I know, but it'll be
an entire different highway apart.
I know.
Away.
It'll be a much more convenient highway, in my opinion. I
For
think.
You.
Yeah.
I can't get to 495 from here. I have to go on the Mass Pike, and then I either go on the Mass Pike all the way back to my parents' house and pick up 495, or I have to go up and around like 93, 95. Or
yeah, you'd probably have to do 90 to 93.
Yeah.
To 95.
Thanks.
Love you. Love you the most.
For the consideration.
I know. I should have thought about you.
Only me.
When I made the move. 100%.
You should have said, Steven, I don't think that this route is going to be good enough for Marissa. It's not direct enough.
Right.
She needs to be able to be here in 30 minutes or less.
Not like, oh, I'm so sorry that your commute to work right now was 2 hours, honey. We should reconsider. All about me. Yeah. Exactly.
I was here first.
You were.
I was here first.
Yeah. So he should be miserable for the 2-hour drive.
Yes.
That's what we're saying.
Because he deserves it. No, he doesn't. No, but it's fine. It's not as bad. We were saying this in the other episode. It's not as bad as my drive and in your drive before when we both were at our parents' house.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I'll have a pool and stuff. You can come hang out and we can go swimming.
Yeah. We can play mermaids.
We can play mermaids. I was going to say that. Can't wait to play mermaids with you. It's gonna be so fun.
I can't wait to play mermaids and do George Washington with you in the
handstand contest.
Oh my god, we're gonna do like
we're literally in our late 20s and we're like mermaids.
Well, you have to. We're gonna get goggles and we're gonna make the dance routines, the swim routines, and then we're gonna call Steven to come out and watch
And judge.
Yeah,
he has to judge.
and we're say who did the best handstand, and then he's gonna pick you because he's dating you, even
Yeah.
though mine might be better.
It probably will be. I haven't done a handstand in a pool in like 15 years.
Yeah, me either.
Well,
Anyway,
but yeah, so that's like the big thing. You'll hear more about it in the next episode.
yeah,
Do you have any updates since the last time we recorded? So like an hour ago.
I had a really good salad. That's about it.
It's pretty good. We watched Sam and Colby. No, we didn't. We watched Project Fear, but Sam and Colby was in it.
Yeah, I'm on a huge like ghost and ghoul kick right now.
Right
Like
now?
yeah,
Always.
but like specifically, like especially in the last like month or so, I've been watching and finding so many more like paranormal YouTubers and like
know you
paranormal
have.
investigation channels. I've just been really enjoying it. We talked about this in one of our episodes, I think from season 2, about our oh my god, vision boards. Holy cracker
No,
barrel.
it was the first episode of season 3.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah, so we talked about our vision boards, and on my vision board is to talk to ghosts. Because I've been a believer my entire life.
Yeah.
I have a tattoo of a ghost on my arm.
That's proof that she's been a believer.
As Donkey once said, I believe. So I would just really like to communicate with a ghost, I think, at some point this year.
It would be wild.
I feel like it's going to happen.
I have good faith.
We're planning...
We're only in June, almost.
Yeah.
We got time.
We're planning stuff. We're probably going to do something around Massachusetts, maybe.
Go to Salem.
Yeah.
What was that?
Whoa.
Voice? I think I was possessed for a second. Ew, that freaked me out. I think I was possessed for a quick second.
But yeah, so I've been like trying to watch more like paranormal content to like expose myself more and maybe open my mind up a little bit more, like my spiritual
Should that
energy.
be a podcast episode trying to talk to ghosts?
Yeah.
I hate Ouija boards, but we might have to do
No, well, if we do, it can't be here.
No, it would have
Ouija
to be in
boards
like a
aren't allowed
neutral.
in my house.
It would have to be like a neutral space.
I don't think we should do a Ouija board. I think we should instead do other equipment
Yeah, I like that way better.
instead of a Ouija board.
I don't want to open things up to anyone.
Nar. Anyways, but yeah, so today's episode, I'm really excited. We were looking through our list of ideas and we saw, or I saw at least on the list, we had first kiss as an idea, but I think it'd be really fun to talk about like a couple of our firsts as like the big firsts that you do in like high school and college.
Yeah,
Like middle school, high school, college.
we got first kiss. We got the first time we got high. First time we got drunk.
And then first party, like first like college party, like actual party.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're just gonna go back and forth and tell our stories and laugh and yap and giggle and gab and have fun.
Have fun on this ride that we're gonna depart on together. I am in the craziest mood now.
I am too. Do you want to tell your story first?
Sure. My first kiss story?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. If the friend that was also involved in the story is listening to this, she's probably going to start cringing, but that's okay. We're not going to name names. It's fine.
Oh, we have to come up with fake names for each story.
Okay. I'm going to be really bad at it, but it's fine. Okay. So this happened when I was a sophomore in high school. This was my first kiss. I was talking to this guy at the time.
What was his name?
His name is Scott.
Scott. That's my uncle's name.
Oh my god. It wasn't your uncle. And so, oh my gosh. Flashing lights. Sorry, my ADHD is crazy too now. Okay, so me and Scott, we were talking for a little bit, and we had this friend group that we were a part of, and I was introduced to him because of the friend group.
Yeah.
Because my best friend at the time, let's name her Abby. I'm trying to think of things like not even remotely close.
Abby.
Yeah. Abby was dating her boyfriend at the time. Let's name him Mike. And so Mike was best friends with Scott. I was best friends with Abby. Mm-hmm. We decided to go, it was during spooky season, and we decided to go to Screamfest at Kennedy Lake Park. as like, I feel like that's
so
classic like high school, like,
Yeah.
oh, we're going with our boyfriends. And we had like other friends come with us too, but
For us, it was horror nights at Six Flags because I
Incredible.
was closer to there than Canopy.
yeah, Canopy was only like 30 minutes from us.
Yeah, it's like well over an hour. For
yeah.
us. Yeah.
And that was the thing to do. You would go with your boyfriend at the time and like you'd get scared and he'd protect you and like all that
You're
stuff.
like, oh my god, the haunted house. Is so
Yeah, like
scary.
hug me.
Give me your sweatshirt.
Yeah. Protect me. And so we were all there and we decided to get some dinner there. And us and the boys, me and Abby decided to go to this Italian place because the boys either weren't hungry or they wanted to go somewhere else. And we were like, no, Italian seems safest for some reason at Canopy Lake Park.
That makes sense.
Why didn't we get chicken? I don't know. Besides the point. So we split off. We got dinner. We both got pasta and we decided to get garlic bread.
So smart
We were not thinking.
when you're trying to smooch your boys.
Right, because she's had her first kiss. I haven't had mine yet. And so we were kind of talking about it, and she was like, I think Scott's going to try to kiss you on the Ferris wheel. And I was like, oh my God, do you really think so? And she was like, 100%. Like, I kind of know it. Like, he told Mike. And then I was like, okay, ooh, I'm so scared now. Because I didn't think it was going to happen. I
Yeah.
just thought we were going to hug and like
Call it a night.
call it a night, you know?
Maybe he'd sit with you on the Ferris wheel like this.
Right. If I think I was going to avoid the Ferris
Or he'd
wheel.
hold your hand.
My hand's sweaty.
That's okay. He'd hold your hand.
Yes, I'd be like, and so
Did you say that to him? My hand's sweaty.
probably. I think I was shaken out of my boots. So we eat this meal, right? I'm like halfway through this garlic bread and I like drop it on my plate and I go, Abby. And she's like, what? And I was like, wait, he's gonna kiss me on the Ferris wheel? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, do you know what we're eating right now? And she was like, oh no. So we frantically are like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Neither of us had gum.
Yeah.
So we couldn't freshen up that way. So we asked some of our other friends. They didn't have gum, which is crazy. Like in high school, everyone had gum. What are we doing?
Trident
people?
layers, always.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, what do we do? So then we were like, okay, let's go to, at the front of Canopy Lake Park, there was like the visitor center or the welcome center, and it had like some convenience stuff. And so we were like, they have to have gum there. So we like run there. Meanwhile, the guys, we don't know where the guys are. We just know that we're meeting up with them afterwards. And so we sprint to the convenience welcome center. No gum. No gum to our avail. But I look on the wall behind the cashier and I notice that there's one toothbrush left. One. And it has like a mini like toothpaste. It was like a little pack and it had like a little like meltable like thingy that like dissolved.
Fascinating.
Yeah. And so I was like, Abby, we do have this. And she was like, there's only one. And I was like, are you cool sharing? And she was like, of course. I know. I mean, we were about to like swap saliva with boys. It's fine. Like we were childhood best friends.
That's true. That's true.
So, like we saw each other naked. Like because we like dance with each other. So.
I've seen. You're like, I've seen your boobs. Like, let's brush teeth together. Let's
Right.
use the same toothbrush.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah. I mean,
Just
we
go
rinsed
back and
our heads are next to each other. We're like, no, like we washed it in between.
That's so funny.
So
Hey, true friend.
right? So we run to the bathroom, which is right around the corner of the convenience store, but also conveniently right across from the Ferris wheel.
Oh.
So we both go in the bathroom
Okay.
together. It's like a single person bathroom. And God knows how loud we are. Like we're dramatic teenage girls being like, oh my God, we have to do this right now. Like whatever. So we're like frantically like brushing our teeth and like laughing hysterically at this situation that we're in. We both brush our teeth, whatever, feel minty fresh. And we both walk out and we're like, okay, like let's go find the guys. We have toothbrush in hand still. Marissa, when I tell you that these two guys were standing in front of the bathroom within view, and the trash, it's me and Abby, and then like the trash can's like here, and I have toothbrush, I literally like sprint and just like throw it in, and I'm like, hey. They're like, what were you doing in there together in this single stall bathroom?
Just hanging out with a toothbrush.
And we were like, you don't have to know. It's fine.
Oh, and when you said that, they were probably like, oh, were they making out?
Of course they were. And so, yeah, then we get in line for the Ferris wheel. And, like, this is honestly, like, thinking back, it's, like, kind of messed up that this is how it went.
Why?
Because I'll tell you why.
Okay. Okay.
So, we're in line. We all, like, we get to the front. And then instead of us all going in our own, like, cars, it was Abby and Mike, and then me and Scott across from each other. So my first kiss is like...
Oh, so it was the one of the... Oh, I know exactly what Ferris wheel you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we're like sitting, like facing each other, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So we start going, and like his whole plan, I found out afterwards, was to do it when we're stopped at the top. If we were stopped at the top. If we didn't stop at the top, it probably wouldn't have happened. So, spoiler, we stopped at the top. And so Mike and Abby, like, Mike's arm is around Abby. Like, they already had their first kiss. Like,
are they already macking out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, they're comfortable with each other. So I'm sitting there, like, watching my best friend and her boyfriend make out with each other.
You're like...
I'm like, I feel like this is the first time I've seen someone, like, make out in front of me. So I'm like, okay, this is a lot. Scott literally does the yawn and stretch around me. Like, literally does the yawn. And it's, like, so obvious, too. Like, he wasn't trying to hide it.
Hell
he was kind of making a joke about it.
That's funny.
And so, like, I tense up. And I'm like, it's going to happen. And I was afraid. And, when you get nervous, like, the tension is too strong that you, like, look away.
Yes.
So I literally looked to my left. We stopped. He literally grabs my chin, pulls it, and just kisses me. But it wasn't just one kiss. We just started making out.
My stomach just flipped. That's crazy.
Yeah. And for someone that has never kissed before, it was like the best kiss of my life. Like, sparks were flying.
Was that his first kiss or no?
No. He knew what he was doing.
Oh my God. He
clearly
did the chin pull and everything.
Like, he knew.
You're like, he's like...
Yeah. Like, it was like...
Whoa.
He was confident, he was ready to go, and I was like shaking in my boots. But yeah, it was honestly magical. Like,
oh my God.
On top of the Ferris wheel. But it was just like my best friend and her boyfriend were literally just like making out from across the way, and like they knew that it was happening.
They
like
paying attention.
I know, but it was just like thinking back on it, I'm like, I wish I had that as like more of a private moment. But like, we were in high school, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we literally made out until the bottom.
Oh my God.
That was my first kiss.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then we got off, and I was afraid to look at him. We dated for 3 months, and then that was it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's the 3-month rule. We were talking about this in the next episode. Mm-hmm. Whoa.
Yep.
That's crazy. I know exactly what Ferris wheel you're talking about. There's a video of me and an ex-boyfriend of mine on the Ferris wheel, but it was during COVID, so like the groups of people that would go together would like stay in the same cars, but there were too many of us to all fit in one. And so the guy saw that like him and I were together and put everyone else in a different car, and then put him and I in a car. But he's afraid of heights. So he was gripping the fucking center pole and wouldn't touch me and wouldn't let me do anything because he was just so scared.
Just
and
like
there's a video
pole.
of me laughing at him and his friends recording us from like the next car, zooming in on him being like, I just
like
terrified, and I'm just rubbing his back. I'm like, it's okay. And I'm like laughing. It's
so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like a very magical first kiss, I'd say.
That's so funny. That story made me sweat.
Yeah.
That like made me nervous.
Yeah. I was very thankful that I could say that was my first kiss.
That's awesome. I must admit, I don't remember my first kiss story like in as much detail as you.
Oh, yeah.
However,
it was very iconic.
Mine was private though. Mine was like a nice little moment.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the occasion was. So for context, my favorite saying, I was in middle school. I think I was in 6th or 7th grade. I want to say 7th grade. So, like, how old is that? Like 12?
Yeah.
11?
I think
11 or
12.
12, around there. The first kiss was with, I think we were dating at that point in time. We had dated a handful of times in middle school and like into high school. But for the sake of this example, I will call him.
It's so hard to think of a name that like isn't remotely close.
I'm going to call him. The first name that came to my head was Chandler because I was watching Friends reels earlier today.
Oh, I love Friends.
So I'll call him Chandler. So, so Chandler and I had, again, dated, quote unquote, a handful of times throughout like middle school and high school. But at this point, I think it was probably the first time. And I had met him through a mutual friend of mine. And he was in the grade above me. So he was older than me. And so
Older boy.
So flash forward a little bit to like 8th grade when we were dating. I was in 8th grade. He was a freshman in high school.
You were dating a high school boy?
Wow. I was still in
I
middle
would have
school.
been so jealous of you.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Anyway, so so I think we were in my basement with our mutual friend and like a bunch of my other neighborhood friends. I think. I'm not entirely sure where we started, but all I remember is that it was late at night and like I think it was in the summertime, so like it was warm out. We had like shorts and like t-shirts on and stuff, whatever. And we had spent like the whole night together, and I remember we like walked outside and we walked down my parents' street. So my parents' neighborhood, it's a big like horseshoe. And so my parents are like here and the bend of the horseshoe is like there. So we walked like down towards the bend and we like stopped under a street light.
Mm-hmm. This is straight out of a romance movie.
In my head, sometimes I remember it raining. It was not raining, but I like to add that little thought in my head.
You can remember it that way.
It wasn't, because I've never had a in the rain kiss like outside while it's pouring. So
ever, not even just a first kiss, like ever.
I don't think so.
You got to do it. It's fun.
I know. Anyway, but yeah. So we like walked down the street. We were like holding hands, and you know, as 7th and 8th graders do. And we like stopped underneath the street light. And then I remember he just like looked at me and like, I don't remember if I said something or if he said something or what, but like, I just remember he kissed me. And I pulled away. I was like, that was my first kiss. And he was like, oh, and then we just like kept kissing, but like that was it. Yeah. And I don't remember anything else that happened.
I mean, it was probably like a whirlwind
and
of emotions.
And I like barely remember it too, which is like so upsetting because it was like so perfect. Like the whole setup of everything was great.
That sounds really cute though.
Yeah, it was cute. And again, I mean, clearly it was a good enough kiss for me to quote unquote date this person for several times after, but those were always like the, 3 or 4 week like little middle school relationships where you'd text and be like, I love you so much, you're so pretty, oh my god, I can't believe we're together, we're gonna be together forever. And then you would get a text that would be like, hey, so like so and so is like really cute, I think we should break up. And then I'd be like,
cool, great, break my heart.
Yeah, but that's my first kiss story. It's not as dramatic or
I mean, it still sounds so romantic, like under the street light, and you went on a walk. Like,
I think there's a picture that exists of us still from that night on the internet somewhere. Yeah, I think I'm wearing like a white Hollister shirt that's like a baby doll tee.
Classic.
It's white with blue flowers, and it had like a crisscross back.
Ooh.
And it was like longer, and I don't remember I think I was wearing shorts or something. And there's a picture of the two of us, and he had the Bieber haircut because obviously it was 2010 or 11. Of course. And there's a picture of us sitting on a wicker couch, and he's like this, like and then it's just me, I'm like
oh my god.
And it's like the really poorly edited like whatever
picnic
app. Yes, oh my god, yeah, it was the really poorly edited picnic picture.
We're gonna segue into picnic really quick. Did you ever on Facebook be like this status and I'll picnic a photo of you?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I used to I feel like it felt like I was being commissioned for art.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna make this the
I'm gonna
best
show you.
thing.
I have pictures on my Google Drive from when I made them in Picnic that I'll show you after this episode.
Definitely have them on my Facebook still. I don't know why I'm disclosing this to the internet.
I have one that I went outside and I took a picture with my digital camera of this. And the sun was in between. For context of people, well, you're going to see it on the podcast, but it's the heart. And the sun was behind it, so it was classic, a sun flare. And I edited it, and I put a quote on the bottom in god-awful fucking black text.
Yep.
I have it.
In
I
like
am gonna show it to you.
papyrus font or whatever the
No,
fuck.
it was worse. It was like a emo font, but the picture was not like an emo photo.
I
I
love
wanted
it.
to be emo so bad.
Yeah.
My mom wouldn't let me.
We're in all black.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
all
I know.
black.
That's right. I can be emo now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my first kiss story.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of any like honorable mentions that I might have. I feel like the next best like first kiss that I had with someone was on our camping trip. We were under the stars, by the lake, by ourselves. I did the classic I got nervous. I think he did the same thing. I looked away and then he like pulled my chin in. I guess that's my move. I look away so they can kiss me.
I had a really good first kiss to Losing My Religion by REM.
We are having two different experiences in our lives. Losing My Religion. Incredible.
Oh, life is bigger.
Wait, what's like the weirdest song that you've ever like made out to?
Oh, I had sex. Well, that's not making out, but I had sex to the entirety of Nimrod by Green Day. No shuffle from top to like front to back.
Damn.
Yep.
Yup. I'm like, I don't even know. I honestly like don't really listen to music that often when things are happening.
Sometimes it's just like, you
I
have
got
it on.
Peach Pit, but that's not weird.
Yeah. No, sometimes you just like
Beach
have it
House.
on and then you just,
It just happens.
keeps going.
There was like, like the classic like not horny songs, but like kind of horny songs, like The Weeknd.
I'm going ride.
Like that's happened before, but I feel like everyone's had that at some point.
I love when you go on people's Spotify's, like if they're like, oh, here, like, do you take control of aux? And then you go on and you just see like something that is very obviously like their sex playlist. And you're
Yes.
just like, what are you using this for?
Right. Interesting. Airbuds completely takes that mystique out. Like you're just gonna see if someone's getting it on.
Uh-huh. But I love it because if I see that and I'm like, I know what you're doing.
You're like, good for you.
I see that.
See, you see me and you're like, oh, she's going for a run right now.
I was just going to say, I can always tell when my friends are at the gym.
Yeah. The
Because
gym playlist.
I know what most of my friends listen to when they're at the gym. And so whenever I'm like, if I'm going through or I see like on the little widget, it's like a very specific song. I'm like, oh, they're at the gym.
Yeah.
They're working out. They're on a run.
Yeah.
Anytime you listen to Torture Poets Department, I'm like, oh, she's running.
Yep.
And I know you won't answer me until you're done with your run.
At least like this is best friendship.
Yeah, I agree.
I just burped from my salad.
Yum.
Okay. Well, shall we move on? Mm-hmm. Okay, the first time... Well, okay, this is like a two-part story. The first time that we got high... The first time I got high...
And then I got high.
The first time that I smoked was with you.
Yes.
I requested that.
Yes.
I was like, she is experienced and I am not.
It was at our ex-boyfriend's apartment.
Yeah. And we literally went out to like their back deck. I feel like we hid from them. We not hid from them, but like
You hid from yours. I didn't hide from mine.
yeah, because
He knew it was happening.
my boyfriend at the time. Have you seen that trend on? You haven't been on TikTok, but
No.
there's the current boyfriend. My boyfriend at the time.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to be the first person that I had smoked, and I was like, no, I'm doing this with my best friend. I feel safer with her, which should have been a red flag that I didn't feel safe with him. But anyways,
I agree.
I didn't really get high that time though when we smoked.
No, I think
But
you
I feel
did
like
a
that's
tiny little bit.
maybe a little.
It's very normal. Honestly, I feel like scientifically, someone explained it to me once, the cannabinoid receptors in your brain, I don't think will like react to it right away the first time. I think it's almost like similar to like a vaccine where like you get a vaccine and
like
then you
you
have those like the I guess like the DNA, right, from that
Like
virus
antibodies or whatever.
Yeah, the antibodies from that virus, so that way your body recognizes it and then can attack it when it enters your system. I think it's similar when you smoke for the first time.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder, because the first time I gave my cats catnip, they did not react, and now
Yeah.
interesting.
That's probably what happened.
That's very interesting. And then the second time, you were not there.
No.
And I wasn't there either. mentally. It was crazy. I think because I was of the mindset of like, I want to know what it feels like. And like when I smoked with you, I was like, I didn't inhale enough of this.
Yeah, like I remember trying to teach you, and I remember like very specifically, I'm adjusting.
I think I was scared.
I
the
think
first
you were
time.
scared, but you also like wanted to make sure you did it right because you didn't want to like, I think you were also scared of doing too much, but I was trying to explain it to you, and like you weren't fully inhaling.
Yeah.
Because it's weird. I mean, the first time that you're inhaling smoke purposely, like
Yeah.
you're kind of like, ooh, and then
Yeah.
like, it hurts your lungs because it's hot, and also
Right.
we were using a pipe, I think, we were like a bowl. We weren't like smoking a like a joint or anything. It was just a bowl. So like, it's just like pure hot smoke coming through.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and
understandable.
yeah, I think I was a little bit nervous too, like to know what it felt like. I'm a very like hesitant person with like new experiences. So, but the second time I was like, okay, I've done this before. Like now I feel like I know what to do
You know
and
what to
whatever.
expect.
So I like definitely took too many hits. And let me tell you, it was like 1 second I was having a coherent conversation with my boyfriend at the time. The next, I don't know how long I zoned out, but when I realized that I zoned out for however long, I was like, holy shit. I was like,
I don't remember anything.
yeah. And like he was going on for what I felt like was a really long time. Maybe it was only 5 seconds, but from what I felt, it was like 5 minutes minimum where I didn't say anything. It was just like zoned out. And then I just remember standing up and being like, what did you say? And he was like, just going on, and he was like, oh yeah, and then this and repeated his last sentence, and I remember not remembering how the sentence started and how it ended, and I was like, what?
Oh my god.
And I started like freaking out, and he was like, are you okay? And I was like, I think I need to go inside. And he was like, okay. And then next thing I know, I'm in my bedroom.
It was at our apartment?
Yeah.
Oh, I
It
didn't
was
know
on our back deck.
I didn't know it was at our place.
Yeah, I don't know if you were home.
I don't think I was.
you were, because you
always-
would have been with us.
I always thought it was at theirs.
No, it was.
I was probably
mine.
at theirs, and you were probably at mine.
Yeah.
At ours.
Because
oh God.
if you were there, you would have been with us for sure.
Yeah.
Because you always hung out with us because I wanted you there. And anyways. So then I remember like being in my bedroom and pacing back and forth and being like, I have to keep moving. That's the only way that I'm going to remember everything that's happening.
Oh my fucking God.
And he was like, just like relax. Like you're supposed to just chill. Like let it take you. Like all this stuff. And I'm like, I can't, like as someone that needs to be in control, I was like, I can't even remember the next thing that I want to say. Like I don't remember the sentences in my head. Like it was like I forgot everything.
Oh my God.
Nothing mattered, and I didn't like the feeling. So then he was like, let's try this. Why don't we sit on the bed and let's try to meditate? And I was like, okay. So I sit on the bed and I'm like, all I want to do is lay down. And he was like, you can't lay down. And I was like, why not? And he was like, that's not meditating. And I was like, I just want to lay down. Next thing I know, I'm laying down and he's like, are you trying to fall asleep? And I was like, I don't know. And I'm like, you told me to relax. Now you're telling me not to relax, and I have to be active in my mind. All I want to do is sleep. It was awful. And then I remember him just getting frustrated with me, and then I think I just went to bed. I think. I don't really remember anything after that, so I must have fallen asleep.
Oh my God.
And from that day forward, I was like, I'm never getting that high ever again.
No, and you and I would smoke out on our porch with our other friends.
Yeah,
too.
I think I'd take like 1 or 2 hits.
Yeah.
I think it took like, for the first time ever, like actually properly smoking, I think it took like 6 or 7 hits.
Yeah.
Which also, he should have told me to stop.
Yeah, but he was like a chimney. He wasn't like, to him, that
I
was
know,
nothing.
but like,
I agree.
anyways, I'm not going to air out my dirty laundry on here, but I have thoughts.
As you should, honestly.
Unfortunately, my first experience being high was not enjoyable.
Yeah, that's valid. I luckily and thankfully didn't have a bad experience with smoking until I'd already been smoking for like 2 years, I think. But the first time that I smoked, I used to go to this campground in Sturbridge, and I would bring my best friend at the time from high school, my two best friends at the time, and we were all like, we made a plan to go camping because we had friends at the campground too that I'd known like growing up for a handful of years. One of them was a dealer. Of course. And so like we had this whole plan set up where we were like, okay, like we're gonna do it this weekend. Like we got like, you know, me and my friend, we got our third friend. I'm trying to like think of fake names for everyone. So it'll be let's say Katie and Tom. So me, Katie, and Tom. Katie and I are like, okay, we're going to make a plan. We have to invite Tom. Like the three of us are going to go, whatever. So we make the plan. My mom is like, yeah, like bring them up. Like, it's fine. We have enough beds in the camper, because we would stay for 8 weekends in a row in the fall and 8 weekends in a row in the spring. So this was in the fall. So it was junior year of high school. It's beginning of junior year. So we get there, and our friends at the campground know that like our intention this weekend is to get high as shit. So we arrive on Friday. We go to our friend Bruce's camper. Bruce is the one that's like the connection to the dealer. And so they all go there. So it's a big group of us. So it's me, Katie, Tom, Bruce, and then like 3 or 4 other people. And we're all sitting in like they were seasonal. So their camper was there. Bruce's family's camper was there all the time. So it was like a fenced in, like screened in porch outside of his trailer. So we're all sitting out there on a couch, and they start grinding up some stuff, and they put it in a joint or a blunt. I think it was no, it wasn't. It was a bowl. Oh my God, it was totally a bowl. Okay, so it was a pipe. So they put it in a pipe / bowl, and we're like passing it around, and they tell all of us, they're like, hey, you guys probably aren't going to feel it your first time, because 9 times out of 10 when people smoke for the first time, you don't feel it. And we were like, okay, yeah, that like makes sense, whatever. And they were like, if you smoke and you start to feel it, we would suggest to just like stop. And we were like, okay, cool. So it goes around to Katie, it goes around to Tom, both of them do it. They cough a bunch, but they're like, yeah, I don't feel anything. And then I do it, don't feel anything, whatever. And so we just keep going around a couple times. And so that first night was kind of a scratch, because again, we didn't really feel anything. We were all just kind of like, yeah, like I feel a little sleepy, but like I don't feel anything crazy. So we were like, okay. And it was also, I think might have been a long weekend. It might have been like Indigenous Peoples Day weekend. So we were there for a long time. So the next day we wake up, we go about our day, whatever. And then once it gets dark out, we go back to Bruce's campsite, and then all of us are there, and we start smoking again. And so we're passing it around the circle, and me, Katie, and Tom get rocked. We get so high, and all of us are just laughing our fucking asses off. Like we were all sitting with each other, and we would just look at each other, but it was like so high. I feel like this is more a thing in like middle school or high school when I first started smoking, as opposed to like college when I kept doing it. Like you would just get like, your eyes would be so squinty, and like your face would just look so stupid. And so they would pass it around, and like someone would say something, or me, Katie, and Tom would just look at each other and start crying laughing. We were probably so fucking annoying, because all the other people that we were with were like older than us by like 2 or 3 years, which like also kind of problematic a little bit maybe. But like we were 16 and they were all like 18, 19 years old, but they were all like laughing at us and watching us, and like again, we were just kept smoking. And so that whole weekend, literally the entire weekend, we were smoking so fucking much, and we would like wake up the next day like still kind of high, because we smoked so much. And then like I think it was that same weekend or the weekend after, I think it was the same one. It was during the day for one of the days that all of us were smoking, so we were like again already super stoned, like midday. And all of us were like, we're so hungry. And so we book it up to the snack shack that's at like the main like building at the store in the campground. And we go up to the window. Us being 16, we're like, they can't tell that we're high. And we're up in the window. We're like, can we have crispy chicken cheese quesadillas, please? And the chefs, the cooks that are in the kitchen are just like, do you want fries with that? And we're like, yeah. And so we were just like waiting outside of the window for them to like cook us these quesadillas.
Sounds kind of bomb.
Turns out that they just used dino nuggets and they would cut them up and throw them in these quesadillas. They were delicious.
That goes crazy.
It went pretty hard. But yeah, that was my first weekend ever of smoking.
That's hilarious.
It was a whole weekend affair. But like every time that we would go camping after that, like we would just the whole time. Usually it was me and Katie going. Tom would come with us sometimes, but like with the two of us, we would always go up there and smoke. And then eventually like we would buy from the guy, and like it feels weird calling him a dealer. He would just sell drugs. Like, it doesn't really matter. But like we would buy from him, and then we would like sneak off into the like there were trails around the lake. We would sneak off into the trails and like walk down, and there was a specific rock that we would sit at, and like I had my little like travel like cushioned pouch with like my first pipe that was like my pipe that my friend who was 18 at the time bought for me because I wasn't 18 yet. And like we would go out there and just like pack our little bowl and like smoke out there and be like yee, and then like go back to our camper.
Cute.
And like yeah, it was so fun. But I had one really bad story smoking. Similar to you, where you forgot, you just couldn't like remember anything.
Yeah.
It was in high school. It was with Tom and one of our other friends. I'll call her Emily. And the three of us were sitting in my room, and we were all like, let's get stoned. And we were going to go to a New York field trip the next day because it was our senior year of high school. And so we go outside, and at this point, our friend group had all pitched in money to buy a bong. Mm-hmm. So we had a little mini one, and we called it the crew bong.
Love.
And so I was housing the crew bong at the time, I think, or maybe Tom was. But either way, like the crew bong was at my house. And so I had like maybe like half a nug left, and I was like, we could just fucking finish it. Like it's a month old at this point. It's probably dried out. So we like break it apart. We pack the bowl, and we pass it around, the three of us, 6 times, this bong. And I'm like not feeling it as every time that we're doing it. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, why am I not feeling it? And then as I'm exhaling the last hit,
oh no,
it hits me, and I'm like, whoa,
yeah,
no. And I like looked up. I was like, I am so high. And so we go back inside my house. And mind you, this is like maybe 1 in the morning, 1 in the morning. And also for more like information, more context for the story, I was like maybe a 2-minute drive away from my high school. So we knew in the morning we would just have to wake up at 5:50 and then drive to the high school to be on the bus for 6 to drive to New York for the day. So like we knew that we were going to get enough sleep if we were staying up late. So we walk back inside the house. I'm sitting in front of Tom's air mattress on the floor. Emily is on the bed, and again, I'm on the floor. We're opening this package of the BJ's chocolate chip cookies, which I always say are elite. They are so good.
Ugh.
But
Yum.
we open up the package of cookies, and we start eating them because, of course, we have the munchies. And so I'm eating it, and we're all talking, and like Tom and Emily are having a conversation. And then suddenly I come to, and I look down, and my cookie is gone. And they're no longer talking to me, and they're looking at me. And I'm like, huh? And then I swear I had an out-of-body experience, and I swear to God, I flew out of my body and in the corner ceiling.
Shut the fuck up.
And I was watching myself.
Shut the fuck up.
And then, and it probably wasn't actually happening. And then as
that's crazy.
As I'm coming back into my body, I'm standing up and I'm like, I need to go outside. And they're both like, huh? And I immediately book it to outside. And so I'm outside, I'm hyperventilating, I'm panicking, like immediate cold sweat in my body. I'm terrified I'm gonna pass out. Like I don't feel like I'm gonna throw up, but like I'm just immediately, everything in my body is like alarm bells.
Yeah.
And I'm freaking the fuck out, and they're like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I can't breathe, I don't know what to do. And they're like, well, calm down, it's okay. I'm like, no, I have to call my boyfriend. My boyfriend at the time, we'll call him Tyler. I was like, I have to call Tyler. I have to call him. And they were like, okay, fine. And my dad built a brick patio in my parents' backyard. And there's a part where there was a garden table that's a circle. And so I was literally tracing the circle pattern of the bricks to like just focus on something. And so I called Tyler, and I woke him up in the middle of the night, and he answered the phone. He was like, what, Mary? He used to call me Mary. And he was like, Mary, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? And I was like, I smoked too much. I'm so high. And he was like, Mary, it's like 3 a.m. And I'm like, can you please help me? Like, please calm me down. Like, I'm freaking the fuck out. And he was like, just relax, you're fine. And I'm like, but it's not fine.
Yeah, you're like, I don't feel fine.
And like in the moment, I'm like, he's being so mean to me, like why is he not helping me? But then at the same time, like thinking about it now, I'm like, I literally called him at 3:00 in the morning, probably wasn't coherent or making any sense because I was freaking out so bad and couldn't breathe, and he was just like trying to help me while he was also half asleep, trying not to like fall asleep on me. So then I hung up the phone with him and I started feeling better. And then I remember the only way that made me feel okay was going back into my room, because my friend Emily and I were sharing my bed while Tom was sleeping on the air mattress. I turned all the lights off, and I feel like I remember having Emily face me because I just had to have like the presence of another person. But I remember I was watching a Nikki Tutorials makeup video. And I remember I had to like lay a very specific way on my side, and I had to watch it, and it was a very specific video that I can't remember the title of, and I don't remember what the makeup look was, but I remember like I just kept rewatching that until I fell asleep.
So like probably didn't, because you had to be up in 2 hours.
Yeah, but that was that time was like one of the last times that I smoked, because like that, then after every single time I smoked, I was petrified that was going to happen again.
It's not a fun feeling.
No. So yeah, but then I figured out that like I was suffering from a lot of really bad anxiety, almost like borderline agoraphobia at that point in time, because my pediatrician, when she I almost said subscribed, when she prescribed me birth control, she didn't write no substitution on the slip. So at CVS it got refilled to an like a off brand, like a over the counter brand, and it fucked me up for 8 months.
That can really change.
It was debilitating.
Your world.
Oh, it was awful. And so I figured it out that like at the same time, like that was when my anxiety was the highest, and then as soon as I came off that pill and I switched to my original one, I wouldn't have anxiety while I was smoking anymore.
It's crazy what hormones can do.
Oh, wild.
Literally crazy.
Yeah, but that was a crazy story.
Yeah.
Not one of the first times.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that like experienced something like that though.
Majority of people have a panic attack at some point in time when they smoke. It usually turns them off from it for a while.
Yeah, I don't think I ever like truly got like super, super high or like close to like a good high after that either. I got like a nice little like a small level of it. But yeah, that was never my like go-to to like do at a party. It would be like drinking.
Yeah, see, I never really went to like too many parties. Like my friend group and we were a pretty big friend group, so like we would hang out at my friend's house in their game room above their garage. But it was a big enough group of us that like it kind of had like party vibes, but like there would be smoking and or drinking always. So it was like someone was doing something.
Yeah, totally.
I usually opted for smoking when I would feel like doing that.
Yeah, I also feel like it's a different experience too, like if you're in high school versus college. I feel like, because like I was so sheltered as a child, but also because I danced so much, that's all I had time to do, that I didn't really have a lot of like experiences that most people that I know did in high school until college.
Same. Yeah.
And so like I didn't have my first drink until I was 20. I
did in high school, but I didn't get drunk until...
No one's listening, right?
No, you're fine. I didn't get like drunk. I don't even know if I would consider... Maybe I was like pretty buzzed. You were there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the only time that I've like actually gotten like genuinely drunk where like I like couldn't speak and like couldn't really see well was last week.
Yeah.
I just don't like drinking. Like I've never liked how it makes me feel. It always makes my stomach upset.
Yeah.
It was just a one-off situation. But
yeah.
We can do our like first time drinking stories.
So my first time drinking, where I got like, because I've had like a sip or two, but like the first time I got like drunk, I'd say, was at, this is actually now combining. Remember, I was like, I don't know what my first college party was, but I'm remembering that this was my first college party.
So it wasn't the one that we were at together?
No, but that was yours. So we'll still be able to talk about it. But
yeah, so were you going to do your first drinking and first college party?
Yeah, I mean, it's the party is less significant than the drinking, but like it's fine.
Yeah.
So the very first college party that I went to was let's name him John.
John.
So we me and then one of my friends, this was freshman year of college. Let's name him Aiden.
Cool.
I don't know.
Love it.
I went with Aiden and then my other friend who was in the same major as me. Let's name her Courtney. And so me, Courtney, and Aiden went together. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny going to John's party because, like, we weren't really that close with John, but, like, we got an invite and we were like, oh, my God, like, John invited us to this party. Like, we have to go. And so it was after my first dance show that night I went. And I was like, okay, well, we're at a party. Like, I have to drink. I've never taken a shot before in my entire life. And I'm like, I need to, like, prove to these people that I'm like,
that I'm
worthy.
cool.
Yeah, that I'm worthy of this invite, right? So we were all called to the kitchen. We all did, like, a group shot. Like, everyone was like, okay, like, we're going to take a shot. And so I was like, I didn't come prepared. I didn't know we were supposed to bring our own alcohol, but also, like, I was 19. Like, I didn't have access to alcohol,
No.
but this party we did. So I was like, the only way that I have access to alcohol is if someone's offering me a shot. And so I'm like, okay, I don't have mixers. I don't have anything. I don't have, like, a chaser. And so I'm like, okay, let's take a shot. Literally downed it. Didn't need a chaser. I was like, I might be good at this.
What was it? Do you remember? It was
Vodka.
like Smirnoff or something?
It was like Svedka.
Yeah.
Like, it was fine. But I was like, oh, this tastes like rubbing alcohol. Like, that's interesting. But then I was like, okay, I waited like 2 minutes. And then I was like, I don't feel anything. So I go, Aiden, Courtney, do you want to take another shot? And they were like, okay. Marissa?
No.
I ended up taking 6 shots of alcohol
Whoa!
that night.
Oh my God.
Of vodka, yeah.
And how close together?
I was at this party for like an hour and a half.
Oh my fucking God.
And I had a dance the next day. But, like, I wonder if I had the same effect as, like, getting high, where, like, I didn't get as drunk as I thought I would after 6 shots. But I also, like, just had dinner.
Yeah.
So
it
like,
absorbing all of it.
Yeah. So it could have balanced out a little bit. But, like,
That's so
I
funny,
was pretty
dude.
drunk to the point that Aiden came back to my room and I tried to advance myself onto him, but he was very respectful. I had a crush on him at the time. And, like, if anyone knows me,
That's
I'm
so much
like,
lore.
if I want someone, I will go after them.
Yeah.
I am shameless. Like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care if I get rejected. I'm going to shoot my
Yeah.
shot kind of thing. And so, like, his plan was to stay the night at my place, but he brought an air mattress. Like, he was a very
Aw.
respectful man, which was why I had a crush on him.
He's like, I want to make sure you're not going to throw up on yourself and choke on your vomit.
Yeah.
And you're like, I want to kiss you.
Right. He also, like, didn't live on campus.
Yeah.
So, like, he had no means of going home. So I was like, you can spend the night. And he was like, okay, perfect. He literally packed a bag with
Okay,
his
I'm
air
following.
mattress and everything. Dropped it off before we went to the party. But he ended up, like, we were in, like, my bed for a little bit. And, like, we ended up cuddling. And then he was like, okay, I'm going to go to sleep now. And I was like, you should just stay. And he was like, no. And he
goes,
ended up sleeping on the floor. I have videos I can show you later. But, it's fine. But yeah, and then the next morning, I remember calling my sister, and I was like, Becca, I drank for the first time last night. And she was like, no way. Like, how was it? And I was like, I think I'm still drunk. She was like, don't you have to dance in like 2 hours? And I was
You're
like,
sure do.
uh-huh. And she was like, okay, drink water, like, whatever. And I was like, okay. I think I was just hungover and I felt drunk, you know?
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But that was not the drunkest I've ever been.
Wow.
One of the drunkest times I've ever been is at your first party.
That party was so funny.
Should we do that first and then you can tell your first?
Yeah, so for that party, it was my, like, first college party. And I remember we went, it was me, you, and a bunch of our mutual friends, your boyfriend at the time, now ex-boyfriend. All of us went together, and then with our friend Ben, the one that lives in New York. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he was my roommate at the time, so he came with us. I think, right?
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah. So we all walk in, and I don't even, like, I barely remember anything from that year, but, like, I remember at one point you had to go to the bathroom.
It was like early on
I think we had just gotten there.
Because we pre-gamed. Ben and I were splitting a handle of Southern Comfort together.
I didn't drink anything, I don't think.
No, you were like very sober.
Yeah, I think I was like the designated walker. Like the designated...
Yeah, because we walked to
make
that
sure
party.
all of us are fine friend.
Yeah.
And so we were like, I have to pee really, really bad. And I was like, okay, like let's find the bathroom. And so the two of us went to the bathroom.
Meanwhile, there was a line to the bathroom.
There was a line to the bathroom, but we were waiting for the bathroom. She was hammered. I was just like having the time of my life because I was watching her like stumble everywhere and slur her words. It was so funny.
I am a fun drunk.
You're a really fun drunk. You're so silly when you're drunk. You've never gotten upset when you're drunk, and I love it.
No, I'm just chill vibes.
So we finally get into the bathroom, and like again, keep in mind we like had to get there via train and stuff because like we are in college, and so and it was also a birthday party. And so...
Yeah, that's important context.
Yeah, so she's like, I have to pee. And I'm like, okay, so go. And so she like pulls down her pants and starts going to the bathroom.
Can I interject for a second? So as a college girl that didn't have... Like, all I wanted on my person was my phone. And like, that was it. Like, I didn't want to have to carry stuff around.
Yeah.
And so... I had literally my phone and my Charlie card and my debit card just in my pocket. It wasn't in my phone license. Case. No, just those. Yeah. I think my student ID too.
Yeah, you had your student ID.
I had to have that to get back into the dorm. But other than that, like that was it. And it wasn't even in my phone case. It was just loose in my pocket, in my back pocket with my phone.
Yep. So because of that, when she pulled down her pants to go to the bathroom, all of it fell. She took her phone out, but everything else fell in the toilet. And so I'm looking at myself because I peed before you. And so I'm washing my hands and I'm like, I think I was filming myself in the mirror.
You were.
And there's a video of me filming myself. And she goes, I think I dropped my Charlie card in the toilet.
I'm like so drunk. Slurring my words.
And then I start dying. So the video that I have is just me laughing at the end of her saying that. But then it turns into like this 15-minute ordeal where we're both freaking out.
Reminder, there's a line to the bathroom.
There's a line. And she's like screaming. And she's like, I can't touch my pee. And I'm like, pee is sterile. It's fine. And so I'm just like screaming that her pee is sterile. So everyone outside can hear me just saying, it's sterile. You're fine. You're fine. It's sterile. Yeah. I'm like, people drink their piss all the time. Like, it's fine.
Yeah. And like, we were not being discreet about this.
No. And so she's like, I don't want to do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And so I'm like looking for something like a vessel to like scoop it out. And so because it was a birthday party, there were party hats, like cone party hats. And so I'm like, use the party hat. And she uses it, and it just disintegrates because it's cardboard.
Like, immediately.
And we're like trying to scoop it, and it's just like flopping over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you just have to grab it. So then you went and full fisted the toilet and grabbed your cards. I literally
rolled up my sleeve and just shoved my hand in
and
there.
Then you washed them off, and it was so fucking funny. And our friends were like, what the fuck took you so long? And I was like, she dropped all her shit in the toilet on top of her pee. And they were like, what?
I literally peed on my stuff. Like, I remember being like, because I didn't take my phone out. My phone fell out of my pocket on the ground.
You're right.
Because then, like, I was like, oh, my phone's on the ground. And then I was like, debit card and school ID. And then I was like, I had 3 things in here. And I was like, my Charlie card. And I was like, I think I'm peeing on my Charlie card.
That was when they were plastic, right? They weren't. Yeah. Oh my
If it was
God.
paper, I would just flush it.
It was so funny, dude. I totally forgot about me screaming in the bathroom. It's sterile. Your pee is sterile.
Oh yeah. I was drunk, but like I remembered that. So I don't remember anything else of the night. Surprisingly,
I don't either.
But that part I remember vividly.
Dude, it was so fucking funny.
Like, vividly.
My God. For that to be my first like college party experience, that
You're
was
welcome.
so funny.
You're welcome.
Oh my God. But my first
I'm here to entertain.
You are. My first like drinking experience, I think the first time I drank anything, period, was New Year's Eve in high school at my high school boyfriend's house in his basement. It was a bunch of us, and my mom would get these like Ace pear ciders, which are fantastic, by the way. Good. But that's like always what she drank because she was on Weight Watchers when I was in high school, and that was like the lowest cal option that she liked. And so like she had let me like try one, I think, or no, she was like, you should like, I'll buy you a 4-pack of these, you can bring them to to your boyfriend's house. And I was like, okay. And they were actually really good, but I didn't drink a whole one. I drank maybe a couple of sips of it because I didn't want to get drunk, and everyone else got drunk, and I was just like, you know, whatever. But the first time that I actually like felt anything, you were with me.
I was.
It was also in college, also sophomore year. We were in our friend's dorm, and you and I, our alcohol of choice was pink Moscato.
Well, okay.
For years.
I like specifically remember because like, yes, you had drank before this, but I remember you like weren't very like versed in it, and you were like, I don't really like a lot of alcohol. I don't really like the taste of a lot of it. It makes me feel sick, blah blah blah. And I remember being like, well, I have a solution for you. Have you ever had pink Moscato? It tastes like juice. And you were like, no. And I was like, try it. And you were like, it does taste like juice. And so I was like, we're gonna drink this.
But then little did I know, like, the sugar content in pink Moscato alone would make me feel like ass.
Literally.
It made me feel so gross.
Especially because, like, we would just, like, drink mugs of it instead of, like,
literally
a cute
coffee
little
cups.
splash. Like, yeah.
Coffee cups of it.
So we would just, like, be drinking straight sugar.
Yeah. So that particular night, it was us two and, like, a ton of our friends were in their dorm, and we were all just, like, drinking. And so I'm drinking the pink Moscato out of a coffee cup. And also, mind you, I think this was at the point in time one of the friends in the friend group I was talking to because my high school boyfriend and I had just broken up, and I was sad. And like I had a little bit of a thing going with one of our friends. And so I remember I was like, I not only am I drinking, but like I have to impress this like boy that I'm talking to also. Right. So naturally, as I'm drinking more, I'm just going cuckoo bananas crazy.
You're putting on a performance for everyone.
On a fucking performance. I don't remember anything about that night. I wasn't even that drunk, but like I don't remember anything except for looking at our friend's hat. It was a white cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And I put it on my head, and for the rest of the night, I was going around telling people, I was like, I'm Doug Dimmadome, and I was like going around saying that the entire time.
There's videos.
And thinking about the fact that I was doing that makes me want to internally turn into a black hole and disappear forever. It's so cringe.
Like when we were there, like all of us, we were like, Marissa's so fucking funny. Like we were like all dying. So we weren't like, no one was like, oh my god, will she stop? Like all of us were like, this is fucking hilarious.
Because it was like every couple of seconds I'd just be sitting drinking my drink and I'd just be like, I'm Doug Dimmadome.
And honestly, maybe it was just us getting a kick out of it, and everyone else was.
It was
like,
me, you, and Ben, and then the three of us were just laughing our fucking asses off.
Because like how we would all hang out with each other is like there would be the huge friend group, but they'd be like playing video games or playing D&D or something, and then it would be you, me, and Ben in the corner, literally tucked behind like chairs and couches.
We'd like make little forts. Like,
we would just need to be like present, but like we'd be like fucking off doing something else, and everyone else was doing one thing, and we'd just be like chilling.
I think at that party that we talked about with the Charlie card incident, we went outside with him at the in the middle of the street and just sat outside for like probably an hour.
That's what we always did.
We talked about like dreams and shit. And I remember your boyfriend came outside, or we went back inside, and he was like, "Where were you guys?" We were like, "We were out on the road, just hanging out,
out on the road."
And we would just like go out, just get away from all this stimulation and just sit outside.
We would always have meaningful conversations while everyone else was just like getting wasted.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I mean, I would also be drunk, but I'd be locked in.
Yes.
I'd be like, let's talk deep.
Yeah. But again, like I don't love drinking. I don't like how it makes me feel. And I also take a medication that like it causes me to be dehydrated, so that it causes the effects of drugs and alcohol to like be a lot more like it causes the effects to be a lot stronger. So I don't love drinking, but like this last weekend, I went to karaoke with a bunch of friends, and I had a delicious drink. It was very good. It was called Purple Rain. It was so yummy.
Yes, you told me about it.
It sounded so good.
Also fancy and like bougie.
Yeah, it was a nice little cocktail.
Yeah, I love it.
But it was so good.
Craft cocktail. If you will.
I had one full one in like the 45 minutes that we were there, and then I drank half of another one.
Yep.
And like by the time I got halfway through it, I was like, I'm drunk, and like I couldn't properly form sentences.
I remember you texted me and you were like, I'm the drunkest I've ever been, and I'm like, hell
seriously,
yeah.
like I remember, and these are like new friends too, and like and when I had met them before, I was drinking a little bit, but like I wasn't anywhere near what I was at karaoke. And so one of them, he like looked at me and he was like you look like you're having fun, and I was like, this is the drunkest I've ever been. And he was like, are you joking? I was like, No. And he was like, how would you say you are on a scale from 1 to 10? I'm like, probably like a 6 or 7. And he's like, damn, okay. He's like, what are you drinking? I was like, I've had 1.5 drinks. And he's like, that's it. I'm like,
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Caitlin's sitting next to me, and I'm like, can you finish my drink, please, Mom?
She's like, hell yeah,
She always finishes my drinks for me every time, always.
Yeah.
But yeah, it caught up to me, and I had eaten dinner like, I think maybe an hour and a half. It was like an hour, and it was an hour before we sat down at the karaoke bar, because we got a drink there and we were waiting for everyone else to get there, so that was like maybe a half an hour, and then we went into the actual room. So at that point, it was like an hour and a half, and I was already almost done with my drink.
Yeah.
It was so good. I couldn't taste any of the alcohol.
That's when you know, like,
God,
it's
delicious.
a good drink.
And then,
like,
I
made
would,
it well.
Yeah, I would get up to do karaoke, and like everything would start spinning, and I'd be like, ooh.
Yeah. That's when you know, when you stand up, because you feel fine sitting, and then you stand up and you're like,
yep. I was like, I can't walk. And I was wearing like go-go boots pretty much. And I was like, I'm going to fall over.
So hot.
And
Love
then we ended the night at Tasty Burger, and it was so good.
That is a good night. Like, that is a night well spent.
It was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, crazy at 26 years old was the first time that I've like actually gotten like drunk. It didn't happen on purpose though, which I feel like is why it was like so much more enjoyable, because I wasn't preparing myself for like I don't know how it's gonna feel, I'm scared. It was just like
it just happened.
I just kept drinking because I was having so much fun, and then I was like, I'm drunk, whoop.
Oops. Yeah.
But yeah,
I feel like I'm at the point now, because like in college I did drink a lot. I feel like my tolerance was a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Now I have like half a drink. I mean, one more story to tie it up. We were in California.
Yep.
It was me, you, Steven, and Caitlin.
Yeah.
We were at this restaurant in Carmel by the sea. It was the cutest but also yummiest restaurant.
Oh, so good.
They made the drink so strong.
Yeah, you got like a margarita, right?
Probably.
I think you got a margarita.
When there's tequila on the table, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
And so both Steven and I and Caitlin, I think you got a mocktail maybe.
Yeah, I got a mocktail.
Caitlin was like holding her own. She always holds her own. She does great with her drinks. Steven drinks like, he has whiskey all the time, but we were hit like a ton of bricks. Like, you had to drive home.
Yeah, that night you guys were rocked, and I was like, I'll drive.
We were rocked both nights.
Yeah, but Steven was able to sober up enough
after
the first.
Napa.
Yeah, but the second one he was like, I certainly can't, because it was a long drive too.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
because it was like 2 hours.
Yeah, so
you
Steven and
home.
I did drive home, and Steven and I drove home in California in a pitch black in a rental vehicle that I was not registered under, in a vehicle that was twice the size of my own vehicle.
Yes, you did great. I
did
so
fine.
safe. But anyways, so Steven and I were drunk.
Yeah,
Steven makes a comment about his looks. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh my god,
that's all I'm gonna say, and it broke my heart because I adore this man. And it broke my heart, and I started sobbing in the restaurant.
I actually started crying.
Like, like it wasn't like 1 or 2 tears. Like, my face was soaked. Like, I was like blubbering like a baby because he like made this comment about himself, and I was like, "Do you really feel that way?" And he was like very vulnerable with me. Meanwhile, you two were sitting across the table. I don't think you knew this conversation was happening.
No, I knew it was happening. I was half listening.
Yeah, and so he said that, and I just like started crying. And it was so embarrassing because I had like 3 sips of my drink, and the waitress came over, and I was like, she's gonna feel like she overserved me this one drink.
Oh
like,
my god,
I was so embarrassed. I was like hiding my face. I was like, I'm okay. Like, it was so embarrassing, but like, that's how much of a lightweight I am at this point.
Yeah, I know. I don't think that I have like a high tolerance by any means, but I think it's definitely heightened from like before.
Yeah,
because Caitlin and I go out fairly often now, and like I just drink. I have alcohol more often, so I feel like I can drink. Like, having that entire drink at karaoke, I was like fine until I had the second one right away, and then I was like, whoop, not fine.
Yeah,
but like
sometimes
the first
it hits
one
you
I
all
could
at
have driven
once.
home. Yeah,
yeah, crazy.
Yeah, but those are some of our firsts.
Yeah,
obvious ones we won't share. Those are personal, but
yeah. Please don't request that. We're not going to do it.
No.
But if you have other first requests other than the obvious, send it in.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'd love to tell more stories like
Or if you
this.
have your own stories too. I love talking about first
I know.
experiences with things.
It'll be anonymous. You can share
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
Good, bad, funny, cringy, anything.
Anything you want.
So fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we didn't wrap up our socials on the next episode, so maybe we'll do that here. Follow us on Instagram at totallycandidpodcast. And you can email us at totallycandidpod@gmail.com.
And you can tune in on YouTube as well.
Yeah, I forgot that we have YouTube. This will be on YouTube.
Yes, and also Spotify like podcast videos too.
Yes.
You're either watching that there, this here now, this there now, or you're on YouTube.
Yeah, Spotify or YouTube. Cool. Bye.
Bye.